Paul George has opted out of his last year of his contract with the Los Angeles Clippers. He's putting pressure on them. And it's time for Golden State to say goodbye to Klay Thompson. Y'all know we're going to talk about it and break it down right after this.
Thank you for tuning in to the number one place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything NBA. If you're tuned in with me today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Now, it's been reported a couple hours ago that Paul George has opted out of his final year with the Los Angeles Clippers as the two sides couldn't come to terms for a max contract. It is being reported that Paul George was seeking something around what Kawhi Leonard has had, but unfortunately the Clippers are like, no, which is strange because wouldn't you rather pay the guy who's been on the court more than the guy who's not on the court, than the guy that plays more games? But nonetheless, you let the Clippers do what the Clippers are going to do because that's what the Clippers have always done. That's what they have always done. That's what they have always done. But nonetheless, want to talk about Paul George and him opting out of his final year with the Los Angeles Clippers. This could be a move to force the Clippers' hands to say, if you don't give me what I want, I'm up out of here. You gave Kawhi Leonard everything he's wanted, everything he's gotten. It's crazy as hell that like hella off topic, but it's crazy as hell that teams continue to cave into Kawhi Leonard every single time it's time to get paid. It's crazy. He got Uncle Dennis, come be my manager, my guy. Come be my agent, my guy. I swear to Bob. Come be my agent. But back on topic. Nonetheless, this could absolutely for Paul George be a move to force the Clippers' hands to say, hey, give me my money or I'm up out of here. And he could definitely be one of those guys that's weighing his options for sure. Or he could just be playing, you know what I'm saying, playing who has the leverage game. Hey, you about to open up a whole new stadium, Clippers fans. You about to open up a whole new stadium, Steve Ballmer. You need stars to fill those seats. I mean, we know people going to show up, but it ain't going to be as lit in that arena if I'm not in there, unless they can possibly position themselves to get somebody else. But that ain't the point, and that ain't how Paul George is thinking right now. He could also be on the other side of thinking, hey, I can really be looking at what Philadelphia is doing right now. His name is being linked to Orlando. I think that's a long shot. That's just a personal opinion. But I really think that right now, on board with the Clippers and looking at the Sixers are serious contenders to land Paul George, and the Clippers might be fumbling the bag right now. Look, I get it. PG had his handful of injuries as well, but he's been on the court more so than Kawhi Leonard, the man with the braids. But I say Paul George, one of my other points is believing that Paul George holds the keys to some teams' free agency right now. Not the entire NBA, but some teams right now. And there are going to be teams that are in for something and waiting, and somebody's going to lose. Now, when we talk about some of those stars that a lot of teams that are coveting, you know what I'm saying? It's a good handful of teams that might be looking around and trying to snatch up this player. And if they don't get this player, they're going to attack this player. And if they don't get that player, they're going to attack another player. Those players that typically come up or have come up in my mind right now, it stands bold. It's Paul George, Klay Thompson, and DeMar DeRozan. Now, when we talk about Paul George and the teams that he might be linked to, we're talking about the 76ers, as previously mentioned, along with the LA Clippers back at the crib, or the Orlando Magic. You're looking at Klay Thompson. He's being, mentioned with the Clippers, the Lakers, the Magic, things like that. DeMar DeRozan, the Clippers, maybe the Lakers. Haven't heard too much about them, but the Sixers seem to be involved in that as well. And somebody is bound to miss out because one of these teams are going to sit there and position themselves and wait and wait and lose a player and still wait and lose another player and still wait. And then they typically will end up with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if PG elects to go to the Sixers, The Sixers now only have themselves maybe looking at a Klay Thompson. Not really many reports saying that they're interested, but hey, that opens the door for DeMar DeRozan. But does that open the door if the Lakers then become interested in DeMar DeRozan, or if the Clippers are still interested in DeMar DeRozan and fail to eventually get Klay Thompson because Klay Thompson say, I'm going to the Lakers? So that's the things that these teams have to think about. I believe that these teams right now have to move swiftly. They have to be aggressive, and they have to have some type of purpose behind their intentions to who they want to get and bring onto their team. If I'm Paul George specifically, I'm going to Philly. I'm going to Philly. I'm gone. There's nothing else Kawhi Leonard should be able to show Paul George for him to know that it is over. Nothing. Kawhi Leonard played a decent amount of games last season. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi Leonard played a decent amount of games last season, and guess what? When it all mattered, he still wasn't there. He still wasn't there. The man played 68 games last season. That's the most. That's the most since 2016, 2017 season for Kawhi Leonard. Come on, y'all. If I'm Paul George, I've seen enough to know, look, at least if Joel Embiid get hurt, at least there's a big chance he playing through the injury. Kawhi Leonard ain't playing through that injury, dog. Kawhi Leonard ain't playing through that injury, dog. So if I'm Paul George, I'm looking at Joel Embiid. I'm looking at a young bud and star in Tyrese Maxey. I'm looking at a championship winning coach in Nick Nurse. I'm looking at the potential of me being able to still continue to be an all-star, still to be able to put up major numbers in the Eastern Conference, and my chances of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals and the Finals increase versus being in the Western Conference Finals, worrying about if Kawhi gonna show up, worrying about if James Harden is still gonna be around on this team, worrying about who's gonna be available when it's time to go through the playoffs and beat whoever's across on the other side of the court from us. Paul George, the opportunity is right there. Me personally, I believe if Paul George signed this contract, it'd be a bad decision for his career. It'll be a bad decision for your career. How many times do your team have to underachieve for you to finally fucking get it? That's just how I'm looking at it. Paul George should be on his way out the door. Out the door. Peace up. Go get your money in Philly. They're going to give you a lot of money. They might have a few dollars here, a few dollars left to go pick up another piece or two, and you off to the runners. You off with an MVP. You off with a young bud and star. You the third option, the best perimeter defender they might have. I think Tobias Harris will still be stuck around. It's not a bad crew. You can run. You going to be the all-star that you are. Ball out, bro. You going to keep playing this game with Kawhi Leonard? Screw all that. Screw all that. He asked you to come here, and he ain't even showed up for you, dog. Get up out of there. Get up out of there. That's what I would do. And when he get up out of there, it's going to be some sad teams. And I think it's going to be one of these teams that are losing. You know what I'm saying? We got the Magic. We got the Clippers, the Lakers. That's all being mentioned in this whole little realm of teams that are waiting for specific players to become available or specific players to start on the dotted line. If you asking me, one of the major losers of this whole thing could be the Clippers. You could miss out absolutely on Paul George. You got absolutely miss out on Klay Thompson. I know that DeMar DeRozan grew up. Yeah, I know that there has been mentions of DeMar DeRozan becoming a Clipper. Look, I don't even necessarily believe that it can work 100%, but hey, 24 points, 24, 5, and 5 ain't bad, but it's still a little wonky. You know what I'm saying? It's still a little weird. I think the odd man out could potentially be the Clippers or the Magic. And I think it's more so the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? I think because the Magic, I think they just swinging for the fences right now. Not a lot of people want to be a part of them right now, at least in my honest opinion. So I think the odd team out in this whole situation when it comes down to this could potentially be the team that didn't want to give Paul George the money. That's the LA Clippers. But hey, That's why I think Paul George holds the key to free agency, at least for these few, for these few teams. He holds that. And we're going to see what happens with that. And now, before we get up out of here, got to talk about Klay Thompson and him and the Golden State Warriors getting ready to say bye-bye to Klay Thompson. And it's very, very unfortunate that Klay Thompson won't be potentially won't be ending his career with the Golden State Warriors. I always thought that Klay, Steph, and Draymond should ride off into the sunset together. That's just how I like to look and live at some of these things. And when you talk about sports, you say, man, these guys, they played all their entire career together. It wasn't always the best during each season, but they rolled out and they got up out of that at the same time in a great fashion. We might not be able to say that for this particular situation. And it's unfortunate, and I gotta blame the Golden State Warriors front office. They won that championship. They got extra happy. They signed Jordan Poole to a crazy contract. They signed Andrew Wiggins to a crazy contract. Then after that, you got to re-sign Draymond. So all your money went into the wrong places, I believe. Like I understood it to a degree for Jordan Poole, but Jordan Poole during that championship run, he wasn't really there either. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Wiggins, okay, cool. I understand that a little bit more. I understand you don't just want talent to walk up out the door, but then you didn't even try to repair the relationship between the young fella and Draymond, which is probably unparable anyway, because you stick me and that bid make national news. We got to come back at you. But Jordan Poole didn't do that. Rightfully so. That's your choice, not mine. I'm from Chicago. We do things a little different around here. But that hurt in that situation. Thanks to Draymond Green. You gotta throw Draymond Green and his nonsense up in there. Thanks to Draymond Green, it's part of one of the reasons why Klay Thompson is out the door. It's part of one of the reasons why Klay Thompson is out the door. I mean, it sounds a bit crazy, but that's just how I'm looking at it. If Draymond Green doesn't sit there and, cause some turmoil within these young fellas and stuff like that, maybe you do still have a Jordan Poole on a team. And if he's not working out, now you can eventually trade him to the point where you can get something in return better than a freaking Chris Paul. And now you're able to get Klay Thompson his money that he rightfully deserves. You didn't have to at that point when Draymond Green got into it with Jordan Poole, they had to trade him. You couldn't come back from that. But if the punch never happens, things last a little longer. You say, all right, school, and Jordan Poole ain't nothing but a bag of laundry. We're going to go ahead and ship him off. We're going to open things up, waive a couple people. Klay Thompson, come on, get your bread. And then on the flip side, Klay Thompson, are you willing to take a pay cut? I don't know. If I was in that situation, I don't know what I'd be doing. But these guys right here, they don't owe these owners nothing. Get your bag, because a lot of this stuff is generational wealth that you are accumulating if you do the right things with it. So I can't be mad for Klay trying to do what's best for him and his family. I can't be mad at that's on the flip side of the Draymond. I can't be mad at Draymond wanting to get his bag. I can't be mad at that. Get your money, whether you deserve it or not. If these owners gonna give it to you, take it, because I'm taking it. If I go in that bid and I average 8 points per game, and the owner say we're gonna give you 175 million, I'm taking it. I'm taking it and my 8 points. So I can't be mad at it, but it's unfortunate that Klay Thompson going to be up out of there. But that's life. It don't always work out. It didn't work out with Tony Parker when he left San Antonio. So, hey, this is just one of those other situations. Excuse me. But that's it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel before you go. The content is about to pick up. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. Make sure you tune in for the number one spot on NBA Central. I done gave myself the hiccups, but I'm out of here. Thank y'all. Catch y'all on the next one for sure.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.